Hi guys, Chris here from the Orthobalance team. What we're going to look at today is the principles of pandiculation, which is something that we see our animals and pets doing on a regular basis after periods of inactivity or rest. And it's almost their natural instinctive stretching behaviour, which helps to reset or recalibrate all their postural muscles after periods of not doing anything or suboptimal movements. So if they've strained themselves, they'll recalibrate their postural muscles, but not just one muscle, the whole body. And that's almost the difference, or one of the main differences with pandiculation as to stretching, because it involves incorporating or integrating the whole myofascial chain of the body rather than stretching or mobilising one specific part. It's integrating the brain, integrating all of the parts of the body into a recalibration to help reset us and put us back into a natural, normal position. So there's a couple of components that we need to look at when we start to switch our awareness from isolated stretching to pandiculation. And stretching is usually known as passive. So we perform it onto ourselves, or someone else performs it on us, and we try and stretch a muscle that's not actively engaged with the brain. It's not aware with the brain to the level that we want it when we want to pandiculate. So the difference with pandiculation is that the brain is involved and the central nervous system is involved with it before we even start. So when we go to yawn, what we notice is we don't just go from a relaxed position to a stretch. We have a voluntary activation of the postural muscles that then integrate the brain into this activity. So we contract and activate the muscles that we want to stretch. Then we stretch in a nice, controlled, relaxed stretch all the way. And again, not just one or two muscles. We're activating and integrating the whole limb of the body all the way down the myofascial or longitudinal lines of fascia or myofascia in the body. So we're integrating the whole limb rather than just one part of the joint or muscle working in isolation. And then after that, what we feel is a complete relaxation of that area, because we've activated it, linked it to the brain, integrated it back into the synergy of the whole pattern of the body. And again, we can just go wherever our body tells us to do, because that it knows where we want to stretch. And you know when you're doing it right, because it actually feels good, and it feels like that morning stretch, and your body tells you where to go, and then you can come back to normal because you've recalibrated all those postural muscles. And you can do that at any time during the day. How often do your dogs and cats stretch or pandiculate during the day? They just do it as many times as they need to. If they've been sat for an hour or so, they'll get up and they'll stretch and they'll shake themselves off, and then they'll go again because they're absolutely fine. They've recalibrated themselves, and they'll do that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day at least, because they're just recalibrating that. So that's what we need to look at and sort of include, rather than doing a stretching program on a specific time or at a class, that we can start to integrate these principles of pandiculation to all of the body at any time during the day. So whether we've been on the computer, or whether we've just been asleep, or whether we've been resting in an awkward position, or whether we've been stood for a while, just to switch on and recalibrate, reset the postural tone in our muscles to take us back to a good neutral alignment and ready again then to perform the next activity. And doing that is scientifically one of the best ways to help squeeze and rehydrate this facial tissue, which over a period of time becomes dehydrated and loses its tensegral or springing like properties, elastic recoil effect. So the more that we can recalibrate during the day all of our body, then that rehydrates the tissues, and it's considered to be the organic way of maintaining myofascial and musculoskeletal health.